Amazing Grace with Elvis Presley. Elvis is not in the house this morning, but Laura Barlow Heath is a Sylacauga City Council person in District 5. And Laura, good morning. It looks like you had a good night's sleep last night and ready to go.
I've had a couple of hours of sleep. I've been speaking with constituents up until about 3:30 this morning.
So tell us a little bit. I went to bed last night, good night's sleep, wake up this morning, and Chris is telling me all this stuff. And what is happening with our city council?
I am saddened and disappointed, and there's many emotions that I woke up feeling this morning again concerning last night. You know, for the last year, there's been a huge divide amongst the council. It was never like that before. There is a bigger divide now with the council, and now the people are divided. And I feel like last night was a failure of democracy. I feel like the people were silenced unfairly. And, you know, we all have to make rash, quick decisions. And, you know, some people may...
So what was the tipping point last night?
People got up and, as their due right, to ask questions. They were all from different areas. They were several lived on Walnut Street, but one lived on 4th Street. And at the end, the man got up and he was questioning the people who are in town that are here on visas. And, you know, the people want answers. They're concerned. They see what's going on in Aurora, Colorado. They see what's going on in other places. They see Texas. They see everything. And it's a concern, and it's a valid concern. You know, we work for the people. The people vote us in, and we are their representatives. There's a lot of uncomfortable conversations that have to be held. And last night, yes, we don't have the answers to give, but the people deserve to be heard.
All right, let's get to the video. And this is from YouTube last night, the city council meeting in Sylacauga. And we pick up toward the end when the people are, I think they have 5 minutes or so to talk or something.
And I mean, they were individual people with the same concerns.
Let's take a look.
Valid concerns, Laura. People come here all the time.
These people came here from Haiti. Haiti is a failed state. Their president was assassinated in 2021. There is no way the State Department can vet these individuals.
We're done, and I'm going to access this.
Please let him talk.
You had a chance. I was very specific. Okay, I'm going to ask all of you to leave because this meeting is over. If having no other further business, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All right, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Good to know. Don't want to hear the truth.
I mean,
This is our religious
I don't know what you want us to do. So what would you like us to do?
To cut off public debate in the middle of the meeting is a violation of law.
What they're gonna do is they're gonna spend our tax money. That's the money they're gonna be spending. They speak French. Our teachers are gonna be able to educate the children that speak French. We're gonna have to hire teachers. There's the kids.
Never because of time.
Laura, if people watching aren't there last night, it looked like a three-ring circus going on. What is this?
This was a very negative, I don't know how to put it into words. It was a very bad, just complete show of our city. We have so many great things going on, and I hate to see the negative overshadow that, but this is a big deal when the people are silenced. The people that voted us into office are not allowed to speak. Council members, last night there was a resolution concerning financial transactions and who had access, and I had an issue that with checks and balances that only the city clerk and her subordinate assistant were on the accounts they were the only ones with full access, and I believe the mayor should have full access to the city bank accounts. And, it was thrown that I didn't trust, it was thrown out there to, I'm gonna paraphrase, that I didn't trust the city clerk's office. But, and I have valid reasons and concerns for that, and I tried to express, that, and I was told that if I or anybody else brought up those concerns, that we would be removed from the meeting. And those are valid concerns. I'm not going to bring anything on social media or to the table in the council meeting unless I have concrete proof. There's been times I've been wrong and I've tried to right them. Several years ago I asked about the task force not being paid, and we had a wonderful accounts payable person, Carla Edwards, in there, and she was phenomenal. And I couldn't make it right after I said it. And and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I was wrong. Carla did her job phenomenally. And we, looking back, I feel like we did not stand up enough for those employees who are no longer there. And I regret it.
So let's get back to this meeting last night.
Mm-hmm.
There are people standing up to talk. I don't know how many people were there that was going to speak.
1, 2, probably about four maybe or more.
Right,
there was a
right.
group of people there.
What did they want to talk about?
They wanted to express their concerns about the people who are here. That,
Immigrants.
the immigrants that are here. They wanted to express their concerns. They wanted to know, had they been vetted, how do we know that they're legally here?
Which is a valid question.
And that's a valid question. Our police they have a law to follow. They have to have probable cause to check people out. They can't just go up and say, hey, show me your documentation because you look different from the people who live here in the city normally. And so there's a fine line. It's just a tough situation.
So how did it get out of hand?
The people got silenced, and they were not validated, and they were not heard. And we work for the people. I said during, at one point when they were being shut down, I said, let them talk. They have valid concerns. Just because something doesn't appear to be important to me does not mean that I can't listen to it.
Was it out of control when they were talking, or?
It was not. It was. It was said that it was repetitive, and they were shutting it down because it was repetitive. This group didn't just form and show up. It was people from different street. There were several from the same street and from different neighborhoods that had valid concerns to bring before their city leaders. We tell people, oh, our doors are open. Our phone. Call us, meet us, come to the meeting. And then they show up to the meeting, they have their opportunity to express their concerns to their city leaders, and they're shut down.
Had these people talked to you previously that were going to?
Two of them had. Two
All
of them had. But that was not the people who were standing up there.
Okay.
Well, one lady that stood up there, she had questions, and I said, you'll have to ask the council, as a whole. When, we are with one person, one council member is nothing. It takes 3 of a kind every time to pass anything.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot get anything done unless you're in that council body. And, as divided as it is, I personally have had a council member and their family send anonymous letters. It was postmarked from their place of work.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been multiple things that are done against each other, and it's not right. And I feel like that I can't say this in a council meeting because I am suppressed. I feel like I can't, bring this to the table to the other council members because I am suppressed with my voice. Just like last night when I wanted to bring to the people about the resolution 36/2023, and it got another thing that was said that I'd filed a police report, and yes, I have.
I do know that District 33 Representative Ben Robbins sent a letter. And I read the letter this morning, and it was very, very pointed what he had to say about illegal immigrants. And
I cannot thank Representative Robbins enough. I have worked with him. I probably talked to him more in the last 2 weeks. I've talked to him, throughout his time. And I have a great relationship with Ben, and I appreciate those relationships with state and federal leaders that I've maintained. And we have to all work together. City leadership, state leadership, everybody has to work together And we have to communicate. We have to be on the same page. And there's not answers to give to the people. But we still have to hear those concerns.
So, Mrs. Nix is the president of the city council, and you're talking about this meeting last night, and Mrs. Nix kind of shut that down. Why?
She felt that it was repetitive. You know, I think she felt like they were being targeted racially, and that was not the case. People had valid concerns. It's nothing to do with race. We see what's going on in Aurora, Colorado. We see what's happened in Texas. We see what is going on in America right now. And just because, you know, we're municipal officials, we have to take heed of those other places.
Did I hear Mrs. Nix, who is the president of the city, Sylacauga City Council, ask that the people that were up to speak to be removed?
Yes, sir. The people that
removed from the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Wow. We're talking with Laura Barlow Heath, Sylacauga City Councilperson, District 5, and so she shut the meeting down.
Right. She adjourned the meeting. I believe, I don't remember exactly. It was so chaotic. I cannot tell you who adjourned, who motioned and seconded the time. I'm not sure. I believe Mr. Brewer was one. And it got shut down. I mean, and afterwards, the conversation still continued.
As you heard some of those conversations?
I did. I walked out through the judge's chambers and then I came back around, and there was a city employee pretty much discrediting my social media post and to the constituents, to the people, and that was very disappointing. And I know, times past, the same city employee has discredited me, and it's retaliation. I mean, it's all retaliatory. I, pointed out wrongdoings, and that's not.
So do you feel like that the meeting last night was a reflection of maybe some of the council trying to get back at you?
No, sir. I feel like the reflection last night was the people being silenced and the council members not listening to the people. I felt like it was a failure of democracy. I mean, it was. The people have a voice. We all have a First Amendment right. We all have the right to express our feelings, and especially to the people who you elected to be your voice.
So the meeting ended. There were still conversations after the meeting.
The group of employees turned the lights off on the taxpayers. I would like to commend Interim Chief Rondell Muse for diffusing and for hearing the taxpayers. He stood there and he listened, and he really helped that situation last night. And I cannot go without thanking him for that, because that situation was volatile and it could have gone one of two ways, and he made the taxpayers feel better. He was honest and transparent with them, and I do appreciate that, and I cannot let that go without thanking him.
So this was basically about some of the stuff that we've been hearing that had been going on in our local area about the Haitian people that were here. Right,
and I mean, the problem is that you see, again, and I keep reiterating it, what is going on in other places. We don't have the resources here to fight that. Our school system, I asked some of our federal leaders, I said, hey, are our school systems getting, adequate funding to provide translators, and to, what are we doing for our schools to, if in case these men bring their family over? I know we have one family that's not associated with the group of men that's here, and what is the government doing for us, and what resources are they providing us to give to these people?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we haven't heard the last of the meeting last night for sure. I know that the media will pick up on this as the morning goes along, but we appreciate you coming by this morning and kind of sharing your heart about the council meeting last night, and hopefully saner minds will prevail. But we got an election coming up before too long.
Right.
And people have got long memories sometimes.
And you know, the people were, I felt like we did a disservice to the people last night. And you know, again, Ms. Nix did what she felt was best in that situation. I don't agree with it, but she did what she felt was best. She's in that role, and she did what she felt as council president she needed to do to shut it down. And I do not agree with it. And I mean, again, I think it was unfair to the people. The people are who we work for.
That's true. That's true. Appreciate you coming this morning.
Thank you for having me.
We got more Daybreak coming up, our star student of the month, after this time out.
And that's just how I feel. I can only say how I feel.
Well, in being here tonight, and watching the city council meeting, I see why nothing gets done in this town. It's very
Well,
clear.
I'm so sorry you feel that way, Ms. Eason, but if there's anything else we can do to help you in the future, please contact us. We'll do everything we can to